They say the sky is calm, but those who are truly awake know better. The sky holds secrets just before a storm, just before a shift. It appears quiet, but everything is moving. In the same way, your life may seem still on the surface, yet deep forces are already in motion. Most people will miss the signs. They sleep through the whispers of change and wake up only when it's too late. In ancient Shaolin, the sky is more than weather. It is a reflection of the unseen, your state of mind, your energy, your readiness. Change does not announce itself. It arrives fast, without permission, and only those who have trained in stillness will meet it with strength. This video is not for passive listening. It is for those who sense something is coming, for those who refuse to drift. Today, I will guide you through rare teachings from Shaolin tradition, lessons not found in ordinary books or commonplaces. You will learn why outer storms are less dangerous than inner confusion, why stillness is not escape but a sharpened blade, and how mastering your breath can prepare you for battles the world never sees. Stay with me until the end. Each moment we uncover will deepen your awareness and reveal what others overlook. The sky will change. That is not a prediction, it is a certainty, and you must not sleep through it. This is Shaolin so far, where the ancient flame still burns. If you seek clarity, discipline, and deeper vision, subscribe now. The path begins here. Most people are awake, but not truly alive. Their eyes are open, yet their spirit is dull. They move, speak, work, but something inside is asleep. When we say do not sleep, we are not speaking of the body. This is not about rest. It is a call to awaken the mind, the attention, the presence. In Shaolin teaching, sleep is a symbol. It stands for forgetfulness of purpose, of breath, of the moment we are in. One can walk, speak, make decisions, even build a life, and still be unconscious of the deeper truth guiding it all. Distraction is the modern disease. Numbness is its symptom. Every time we scroll without thought, react without awareness, or repeat without reflection, we fall deeper into spiritual sleep. And the danger is this: when life changes, when the sky shifts, the sleeper does not respond. He panics, he clings, or worse, he does not see the change at all. To sleep through your own life is the root of suffering, not because life is cruel, but because you are not present to meet it. The path of the warrior monk begins with waking up, not once, but again and again. With every breath, every step, every challenge, we remind ourselves, I am here now. Wakefulness is not intensity, it is clarity. It is the soft but sharp awareness that nothing is guaranteed, that every moment is sacred. In the monastery, a bell rings each hour, not to tell time, but to bring us back to presence. You don't need a monastery, you only need the will to return, again and again. Because when the soul sleeps, it misses the message, and life never repeats itself. Change does not knock, it does not ask permission, it moves like the wind, silent, invisible, and sudden. At first, the signs are soft, a strange feeling in the chest, a shift in someone's tone, a pause that lingers longer than usual. Most ignore these signals. They are too subtle for an untrained mind. But those who walk the inner path learn to sense them, not with fear, but with presence. Mindfulness is not only about peace, it is about preparation. When you sit in stillness each day, you sharpen your perception. You learn to notice the quiet tremors before the ground shakes. You begin to feel the sky darkening before the storm breaks. An undisciplined mind waits for the obvious. It reacts only when it can no longer avoid the truth. And in that panic, it breaks. But a disciplined mind observes the flow long before it becomes a flood. It adjusts gently. It breathes deeply. It remains still when others run. The ancient masters taught, to move at the right moment, you must be still at the right time. That is the rhythm of inner mastery. Be like bamboo. It does not fight the storm. It bends, it listens, it returns upright with grace. Strong, not because it resists, but because it adapts without losing its root. Change is never the enemy. Resistance without awareness is. Discipline does not prevent the storm. It prepares you to meet it. Mindfulness is the quiet work that no one sees until the moment everything changes. Then it becomes the difference between chaos and calm. Train your awareness while the sky is still clear, because when the wind rises, it is already too late to learn how to stand. The world moves fast. People run, chase, and hustle, believing motion is progress. But speed without direction is noise. Effort without awareness is waste. Stillness is not the absence of effort. It is the gathering of it. It is the pause before the strike, the breath before the leap, the silence that reveals the hidden. In Shaolin tradition, monks sit not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. Motion blinds, stillness opens the eyes. When the body is still, the mind has no place to hide. Its patterns, its stories, its fears, they rise to the surface, and in that quiet confrontation, truth begins. Stillness is precision. It is the exact moment the arrow finds its target, not by force, but by perfect alignment. A mind trained in stillness does not wander. It does not hesitate. It acts when needed, and only then. 1 hour of stillness may seem like nothing, but within that hour 1,000 distractions are seen and set aside. 1,000 thoughts rise and fall without reaction. In that practice, the mind becomes sharper than the sword. This is why the untrained rush into battle and burn out. The trained sit, wait, observe. When they move, they do so with purpose. Calm is their weapon. Clarity is their shield. True discipline is not loud. It is silent, deliberate, invisible to the unseeing. To sit still when the world pulls at you, to remain steady while noise surrounds you, that is mastery. Stillness is not retreat, it is readiness. The body rests, the mind sharpens, and the spirit returns home. In stillness, life no longer controls you. You begin to see it as it is, and from there, you act with precision. When the sky darkens, even the calmest heart can tremble. Fear comes first, quick, sharp, then confusion follows, clouding judgment. Anger may rise last, burning through what little clarity remains. These are natural waves, but mastery is not found in avoiding them. It is found in how you meet them. Emotion is not the enemy, it is a messenger. But without discipline, that messenger takes control. The undisciplined mind follows every feeling, runs when afraid, strikes when angry, hides when uncertain. In this way, emotion becomes a chain. Discipline is the quiet art of staying centered. It does not suppress feeling, it creates space around it. A disciplined mind sees the fear but does not speak from it. It notices anger but does not act from it. It holds confusion gently until it clears. Shaolin teaching is rooted in this balance. Action without thought is wasteful. Thought without discipline is dangerous. But when emotion is seen clearly and held in calm awareness, it becomes fuel for wise action. To react is to lose yourself in the moment. To respond is to remain present within it. Reaction is fast, shallow, often regretted. Response is slow, deep, rooted in clarity. This is why monks train not just the body, but the breath, the eyes, the stance. Every movement is a lesson in restraint. Every breath is a return to center. The world does not stop throwing storms, but through discipline, you stop being swept away. You become like the mountain. Winds may howl around you, but your base remains firm. Do not aim to feel less. Aim to see more clearly. Let discipline hold your center. Then even in the wildest sky, your actions will carry the weight of wisdom, not the weight of impulse. When people sense change coming, they reach for what they can touch. They rearrange their routines, chase new plans, seek more control. They prepare the outside believing that safety lies in order, in comfort, in possession. But no storm has ever been stopped by building a taller wall. Shaolin wisdom turns the gaze inward. The true preparation is not seen, it is felt. Before the body moves, the breath is trained. Before words are spoken, the heart is steadied. Before plans are made, the mind is cleared. Inner alignment is the foundation of all outer action. A stable mind can adapt to any chaos. A calm breath can carry strength through the fiercest winds. A prepared heart does not collapse when things fall apart. It remains open, clear, and courageous. When the untrained face difficulty, they blame the world. They say, I was not ready because the timing was wrong. But the wise say, the timing is always now. My readiness lives within. This is why monks begin the day not with tasks but with silence. The world will always demand, but how you meet that demand depends on the state of your inner world. True preparation is not about avoiding hardship, it is about meeting it well. And that cannot be done by changing your surroundings. It must begin by changing your center. You cannot control the wind, but you can control the sail. You cannot calm the storm, but you can calm yourself. That is the Shaolin way. Look less to what you can hold. Look more to what holds you together when all else shifts. That is the kind of preparation that endures, quiet, invisible, unshakable. The morning does not begin when the sun rises. It begins in the silence of the night before, when the world is quiet and your mind is still enough to listen. Shaolin wisdom teaches that nothing truly begins in the moment it appears. Every outcome has a root, every event has a seed, and the seed is planted in your small, quiet choices. Your breath before sleep, your final thoughts of the day, your intention upon closing your eyes. These are not meaningless habits. They are foundations. The mind you carry into sleep is the mind that wakes with you. If it is restless, your morning will be scattered. If it is calm, your day will unfold with clarity. Discipline is not only what you do in action, it is how you hold yourself in the spaces between. It is how you treat time when no one is watching. When you rise in the morning with focus, with presence, with strength, it did not happen by accident. It began the night before, when you chose not to scroll endlessly, not to carry your anger into sleep, not to fill the silence with noise. In this way, every breath becomes a seed. Every thought is a drop of water or a drop of fire. Every choice, even the small one, prepares the soil of your future. To live consciously is to stop waiting for a better time. It is to honor the moment you're in, not with pressure, but with awareness. Do not wait for the morning to decide who you will be. Decide now, train now, rest deeply but not blindly, because the one who sleeps with intention wakes with power. In a noisy world, silence is not weakness, it is strength refined. Presence is not passive, it is the highest form of readiness. Mindfulness is your armor, not because it stops life from challenging you, but because it allows you to meet each challenge with eyes open and heart steady. When the mind is scattered, danger grows, mistakes multiply, you fight shadows, you react to illusions. But when the mind is present, there is no confusion, only clarity. You see what matters and let go of what doesn't. You conserve energy, move with care, and act only when necessary. In Shaolin practice, stillness and movement are not opposites, they are partners. A silent mind in motion becomes precise. A calm awareness in conflict avoids harm. This is why the greatest warriors do not look aggressive. They look peaceful. They have nothing to prove. A present mind does not chase every thought of fear. It watches, it waits, it chooses. And in this choosing, there is power, there is control, not over others, but over oneself. Many battles are lost before they begin, because the mind was already restless, the breath already shallow, the attention already scattered. But the mind rooted in presence walks calmly into fire and often does not need to fight at all. This is the deeper purpose of mindfulness, not just peace but protection. It guards your energy, it shields your clarity, it keeps you from walking into traps built by your own emotions. Presence is not loud, it does not shout, but it moves with a quiet force that cannot be shaken. A silent mind walks safely, even when the path burns beneath it, because it sees what is real and steps only where wisdom leads. To sense what is coming is not a burden, it is a gift if held with the right mind. Awareness is not meant to stir panic, it is meant to deepen clarity. When you live with presence, you begin to notice the patterns of change before they arrive. But this insight must not lead to fear. It must lead to preparation. The undisciplined mind sees the shadow of change and clings to comfort. It imagines every worst outcome. It begins to resist, worry, fight. In doing so, it creates suffering before the storm has even touched the ground. But the trained mind sees the same sign and simply begins. It adjusts, prepares, clears space. Not with urgency, but with calm. There is no drama in true readiness. Shaolin discipline teaches this way of being. To move early, not because of fear, but because of wisdom. To take action before it becomes reaction. To anticipate without attachment. The monk does not try to stop the storm. That would be foolish. He does not curse the sky or cry at the wind. He simply bows to it, not in weakness, but in deep respect. He knows nature moves in cycles. He prepares without complaint. He waits without tension. This is the art of peace in motion, seeing what may come and still choosing stillness, standing firm not in stubbornness, but in clarity. Anticipation becomes anxiety only when the mind is tangled in outcome. Let go of control. Keep the eyes open but the heart soft. Act but do not cling. Because what's meant to shift will shift, and the one who walks with awareness walks without fear. True influence is silent. It does not speak to convince. It simply lives the truth. The awakened do not try to wake others with noise. They do not point fingers or offer loud advice. They walk the path quietly and with depth, and by their presence alone others begin to shift. This is the way of the Shaolin. The master never calls himself a master. He simply lives with awareness, with discipline, with peace. And in that stillness, others feel something different, something steady in a world that is always shaking. When you master yourself, the change around you is subtle but deep. People begin to breathe differently in your presence. They slow down, they listen, they sense a different rhythm in your being, and it calls to something in them they have forgotten. You don't need to preach, you need to embody, not perfection, but presence, not control, but clarity. Let your actions speak where your words fall short. In times of fear, be the one who does not panic. In times of anger, be the one who does not raise their voice. In times of confusion, be the one who steps back and sees clearly. This is not performance. It is inner mastery, expressed through ordinary moments. Be the calm in the chaos, not because you are unaffected, but because you are anchored. Let the sky change, let the winds howl, but remain unmoved inside, not hard, not cold, but rooted. And from that still center, others will begin to remember their own. The greatest teaching is the life you live, and the greatest light is the one that does not flicker even when the storm arrives. The sky is always changing, but the purpose is never to create fear. It is to remind you to return. Return to your breath, return to your center, return to the life you are living right now. This path is not about perfection, it is about presence. You do not need to predict every storm, you only need to be awake enough to meet it. Stillness is not an escape, it is how you see clearly. Discipline is not harsh, it is how you move with intention. Awareness is not a trend, it is your deepest protection. Let these qualities guide your day. When you walk, walk fully. When you speak, speak with care. When you rest, rest without distraction. In this way, you train your inner ground quietly, steadily, each moment. The world will continue to shift, but you don't need to follow its chaos. You can stand still while everything moves around you. That is the way of the inner warrior. That is the way of Shaolin. Thank you for sharing this space of reflection. If this message speaks to your path, let it live through your actions. And if you wish to walk further with us, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. We walk with you in presence and in peace.